everyone, and welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast, the podcast where we, theatre makers, decide to take an online encyclopedia article at random, and each of us come up with a pitch of how we turn it into a show. This is an Edinburgh Fringe special, so that means that one more rule is in place, and that is that our show, whatever it may be, has to be able to play at the Edinburgh Fringe, with a little bit of specifics. All of us have been to the Fringe. If you haven't, you're going to learn a little bit more. But before we do that, my name is Jem, this is Joe.
Hi.
This is Sean.
Hello.
I know, Sean, I usually do you first, but you're busy reading the Fringe guide. And because this is an Ed Fringe special, we've got a very special guest, and it's somebody that we went to university with, we absolutely adore, and that is James King. Hi, James.
Hello. Are we all well?
Yeah. So, James is an actor. You've been to the Fringe how many times?
I've only been there with a show once, but I have family up there, so I go there every now and again as well.
You're the envy of everybody who ever goes to the Fringe. Having friends and family near Edinburgh saves you lots of money and hassle on the accommodation. Great. So this episode is all about things Joe is going to tell us about. Joe, would you like to potentially read the article in its entirety to us now?
Sure, just don't expect me to be good with my Latin.
Okay.
It's while I think I can speak every language, I know I can't speak Latin. But today's episode is about the spotted moray eel. The spotted moray, Gymnothrax moringa, I told you I can't speak Latin, is a medium to large moray eel. Other common names include conger, spotted eel, red moray, speckled moray, white cong, white-jawed moray, white-chinned moray, and white-jawed moray eel. Spotted eels have a long snake-like body, white or pale yellow in overall colour, with small overlapping reddish-brown to dark brown spots. They are commonly 60 centimetres in length and can grow to 2 metres, those being 24 inches or 6.6 feet, and weigh 2.51 kilos or 5.5 pounds, and they inhabit the western Atlantic Ocean from North Carolina and Bermuda to Brazil, including the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean.
That's all on the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I've got the wrong article.
Yeah, my article's like 2 sentences
Mine's
long.
very short.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're reading from the book that you have, or...
Unless I've somehow found a different article on the same eel.
Hang on, what eel are you looking at?
The spotted moray.
Okay, what colour is it?
Spotted moray eel.
What does it look like?
What colour is it in the picture?
Well, that's a good question. It's either kind of like whitish with brown spots or brownish with white spots.
Okay, because I had whitish with like black spots.
Yes.
I've got that, and mine just says, it's an eel with spots that is in the Pacific and Indian Ocean, and then it's like, it was first named by John Richardson, and that is it. That is all I've had.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we don't even get that bit on this article, so...
This feels truly, truly fringy, especially when,
this is already
through...
the wildly contrasting. We've got the Laughing Horse article and the PBH article.
Well,
Decide for yourself which is which.
Well, I know I have seen shows where halfway through the Fringe run, and I think we even did this in our very first Fringe show, is halfway through the run we decided, nope, and we changed it. Was that our first show, or was that the night before?
I mean, I won't lie to you, Jemma. Like, our first show, on the first night, you were like, Sean, you're in this. I'm like, am I? So,
I thought I'd been very clear. I thought I had been very, very clear. But again, I thought I'd been very, very clear with handing Joe the right article. So whilst Joe panically tries to figure out the article that we're all doing, how has everybody else found the article?
Well, as
I
I've
like
just
how
found
little there
the
is.
article, sure, yeah, cool.
Sean?
Is it the same eel though, Joe? Have you
Oh
got-
yeah,
is
it's
it
the
like-
same. It's the same eel. Did I not read to you that long list of
So
alternative
this-
names?
This eel has 2 Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, this eel has 2 Wikipedia pages, and neither of them are long.
Okay.
It feels like this is one where they could have condensed it into one, and still they could have put in more information.
Maybe the one article is like a catfish. It's just a different eel pretending to be a spotted eel.
Oh, please do not bring up catfish again. That was.
It's like those snakes, one of which is like completely harmless. I think like a corn snake, but then one that looks exactly like that snake but has like an additional little ring on it, and that one's really, really deadly.
Sneaky.
Jem, why do you know these things about snakes?
I'm gonna blame it on living in Africa, but I'm pretty sure it's just because I read too many memes online. It's been a very long, slow year, okay? I've filled my head with useless things.
Okay, so I found this article really difficult, and I've barely got an idea as it is.
So, I've just discovered that there are 2 eels with the same name.
Fantastic.
Wow, how did no one catch that?
Apparently, we're dealing here with the one that we had for the article that everyone else received was the spotted moray eel, species name Gymnothorax isatina. Probably mispronounced that. I don't care at this point. But this eel was Gymnothorax imorinia.
I love the way that Latin is the deciding factor. James, how did you find this article? Or the look on your face is now saying that maybe you had the wrong one too.
I have a third eel. No, I liked it. I agree with Sean that there's like, it is hard because there's not much there, but in the same way it's like, I guess there's more freedom with the little information there is. I basically just based mine off the picture and what they looked like, and so
Sorry.
went from there. It was
I
challenging.
have too. I got obsessed with how they looked like. They were reminding me of Lady Gaga. I've gone fully wild with this one.
Okay, you're going to have to give us a little more detail there.
Well, she will at some point in the podcast, Joe.
If I give you any more, it will be the pitch.
Is your pitch about Lady Gaga doing a Fringe show? Because
No,
I feel
but now
like
I
she
was-
might
love
be a
to.
little higher budget than that.
No,
It's A
but-
Star Is Born, but with eels, obviously.
Oh my goodness! I need
It's
to
dangerously
see that.
close to what I've got.
In that case,
Oh,
you know what?
boy.
Before we get any more spoilers, shall we just jump in some pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, why don't you go?
Sure. Yeah. Well, get ready for the most ramshackle pitch you've ever had because, put simply, I apparently have been reading from the wrong article. So I've decided that anything I thought of previously is therefore null and void. So, yeah. Let's fly by the seat of our pants here. Come on. Let's have a bit of fun. So, eels. What do we know about them? They're long. John Richardson found this one in particular. Who is John Richardson? He's a Scottish explorer. But he's also the name of a comedian. So I'm thinking, what's popular at the Fringe? Stand-up. What's this about? Eels. Can we do an hour of stand-up about eels? Let's find out. That's my pitch.
You know, I'm pretty sure I have seen that as a pitch to the Fringe.
Yep, basically. You know, kind of...
Can give us some examples of the set. You got any eel jokes?
Sure. So I'm also going to be cheating a bit for this of drawing from the excellent publication Giant Morays and Other Extraordinary Eels.
Can I ask one thing, Joe? Did you have that before we found out what the podcast is, or did you like find it? Like,
Oh no,
that'd be
I got that as a secret Santa present last year.
Wow, foreshadowing.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let's try a bit here. So, eels as a species are... This show is about eels, and eels as a species are known to, for much of their adult lives, live alone till it comes to mating, and then continue to exist alone immediately afterwards. So this is also an autobiographical show. Stuff like that.
It's good.
I love how halfway through your pitch you went like, this is about eels.
It's just about eels. It's about
It's
eels.
about eels. If it's not clear, that's the name of this show. Joe Ronchka. This is about eels.
In Joe's defence, we have been to a show where it was literally, the joke is, it's about Wario. Every joke was like Wario, so I could
That
see
was
him.
the punchline to every scene, and it was
sounds
a great
difficult.
show. 5 stars.
Yeah, it was a good show. So I could see Joe quite easily doing every punchline is it's an eel.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely enjoying imagining Joe's like flyer pitch to try and get people to come see the show. Like, this is Joe Ronchka's show. This is a show about eels. It's a show about eels. Do you know anything about eels? And then people freak out because eels now doesn't sound like a word anymore.
Yeah. And
Sounds like a threat. Do you want
and also
eels,
the twist
eels, no.
the
No.
twist is you go to the show and it turns out it's actually, we've billed it as all about eels. It's actually all about moray eels. Any facts that relate specifically to electric eels are not included.
Oh, you can't even do like an electric boogaloo type thing?
No, there will be no references to MGMT's electric feel. There will be no references to the Mighty Boosh.
No electric Pokemon.
Yeah.
There will be no electric lights either. You'll go so far as to
Candlelight.
turn the electricity off in the building.
I mean, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
But
What about
yeah,
health
so
and safety?
so
Might be
I
like
feel
that.
like, yeah, this show, obviously, I'm not going to have written an hour of eel stand up off the top of my head. I'd workshop
I mean,
it first.
we
obviously.
can't get you to write a pitch for a show, so I won't
Yeah.
expect you to
But
do it.
do check in later. I might have written more eel jokes. But I think this is a very feasible show. I've seen stand-up shows with less of a premise than eels. And also, there are numerous venues that can support one person stood in front of a microphone, potentially with some kind of like whiteboard to the side of them with a picture of an eel on it.
Is this a paid show or is this a free show?
The paid shows are not the true Fringe, Jem. You should know that. The only true Fringe is the PBH free Fringe.
Hi guys! Yes, okay.
Will you be dressed as an eel?
Maybe that will be the end of it. Is actually, yeah. The ending to the show is I dress as an eel, climb on top of 2 pieces of wood, and get people to play a conga game or play limbo underneath me. Because I
wow.
momentarily confused limbo and conga, and I'm now going with it.
Have you got the eel suit on underneath your normal suit the whole time, so it's a big reveal?
Sure, yeah. It's on underneath it, and it's never fully explained why, for that reason, I'm wearing an evening gown and a coat for the entire show.
I mean, I'm not... I know that this, especially to anyone who's not been to the Fringe, this whole pitch and this whole moment seems quite rambly and quite bizarre, but I do feel like the process we've just gone through to turn stand-up comedy about eels into Joe's in a secret eel suit and is going to be a limbo pole but call it conga. I think that's how most Edinburgh Fringe shows are developed.
Yeah. I will expect the entire audience to go in a conga line, but then limbo also, at appropriate moments.
That's how they get out.
And
Joe's there, and as they go under him, he's got his other hand with the bucket for money.
Yeah.
And he's like, as you go past, boom.
Yeah,
That's how it
limbo or donate. Limbo or
Yeah.
donate.
And if you put a note in, you get to put one of the spots onto his eel costume, and then hopefully by the end, he's a spotted eel.
And
Aww.
at a certain point in the show, I will expand further on the sexual habits of eels in a cover of Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, but done as sexual eeling. Also, there will be numerous bits of material about the town of Ealing, but I haven't looked up that one's free encyclopedia page, so...
And on that note, I think I'm going to shut down the improv machine that is Joe before we end up.
Well, I'm going to go away and write some more jokes. One of you two, or three.
Do it. I'm going to come back to you between each pitch, asking for a joke on demand. So be ready. Right. Welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast, James.
I thought you were
Baptism
starting
by
again.
fire.
No, I'm just looking at James's face going, where am I? It's very much the kind of face that you get when you wander last minute into a Fringe show.
It's the point at which you realise what you've got yourself into and that it is probably too late to back out.
I mean, I'm just going with it at the moment.
That's what you got. That's what you got to do at the Fringe, isn't it? You just go, I've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'll go into this room and see what happens.
What about the fact that it's a stand-up show about eels, but eels can't stand up?
Oh, he's Joe, you fool!
Oh, there you go. You've been upstaged already, Joe.
That's all I've got.
This is where James comes in, is the tactic to have the best pitch is just to underline the problems of all of the pitches.
Well,
this is... It was that good of a pitch, he felt he had to undermine it. Yeah, he was like, oh, this is a threat, this eel stand-up show.
Yeah, there's no way I can compare to that hastily put together pitch. I've got to just destroy it instead.
Talking about hastily put together pitches, Sean, would you like to tell us what show you may have or not now?
Yeah.
Good.
Do we acknowledge that our guest has just dropped off Skype?
He's not
James
dropped
is
off
here for
Skype
me.
to me.
Oh, he's not here for... Oh, here we go. I've got him back. Okay.
I'm back.
I'll just cut that out. Maybe I'll keep it in. Makes me look like an idiot. Okay. So my pitch has changed in the past 10 minutes. So, but most of it is still in what I during my staff meeting earlier that I came up with. Okay. So, one thing that we haven't spoke about that much during these specials is the types of theatre and performance that goes at the Edinburgh Fringe. So I'll just if you get the program 2018 was the first one. So you've got they put dance, physical theatre together. They put comedy, and they've got cabaret. And one thing that they've also got is one thing that we haven't touched on. It's children's shows. At the Edinburgh Fringe, there's a lot of kids shows because of course you take your kids to the Edinburgh Fringe and then get in the way of all the people with your pushchairs. Of course you do that. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so you know when you've got 5 minutes to get to a show and you're like, oh, I'm not going to go in the road because there's a bus coming, and then they stop because but that's not here or there. So mine's a kids show. Okay, and it's got puppets because I've got animals, so I'm going to go with puppets. The story is, okay, so there's this eel, this spotted eel, and he grows up, he wants to find his truth, and he's looking at all these other eels in his community, and he's like, you guys are spotted eels as well, but you seem different to me. You seem like you're the same, but maybe you're just that little bit different sort of eels, that you have your own different Wikipedia article. Where are my eels? I feel different. And then he finds out he was adopted and that he's not really this type of spotted eel. So he's like, I'm going to go on a journey, and it's all about finding yourself, finding what your spots really mean. So he goes on a journey down the river because obviously he's a fish, so I've got to keep it in the water. No, he's not. He's an eel. Did I think? I'm going, yeah, of course they are. Anyway, he lives in the water, so he's going down a journey down the river, and while he's going down the river, he meets a lion, a tiger, a bear. Oh my. So he just meets all these different animals, and he really just finds about, I don't know what goes in kids shows. Some of them are silly, some of them have important life lessons, and he goes there and he goes all the way to the end of the river, and there he finds a type of spotted eel that looks pretty much like him, but they probably have a different Wikipedia article, and that's when he finds the truth of who he really is, and it's puppets, and it's fun, and the kids go crazy, and we can sell loads of merch, like little puppets of eels and the animals and t-shirts, and that's the story. It's a story of truth. It's a story of finding who you are and where you belong. And yes, Joe, there's 2 different types of eels in it because they're all spotted and they look the same. Boom. That's
Just
my
wanted
pitch.
to say, Sean, I looked it up for you. Yes, eels are fish.
Eels are fish. There we go.
We're learning. We are learning.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on a free fringe because you know what? You got to give kids theatre. You got to start them young. No, you know. And
Make it all
plus-
back
and
in
plus-
merch anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you get the money from. They'll be like, "Oh, can I have this little thing that's like costs like 30p, but I'm going to charge it to them for about £5." Do you ever remember?
Nice.
Do you ever remember Bruce? Anybody see Bruce?
Yeah.
Which is basically
No.
a slab of foam with some eyes on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They were selling like miniature foam with eyes on for like £3. You can sell anything at the Fringe and people will buy it.
Can I
And
suggest
that's
to
why
you
I'm
how
pointing
you
at
could
kids.
cheaply make eels to sell to the kids afterwards?
Socks with foam in.
Nice.
I was going to say pipe cleaners and googly eyes, but you go for
There
you.
we go. See, Joe, we can have different types of eels
Yeah.
that have different Wikipedia pages
Yeah,
but look
the
similar.
premium eel is your sock with foam in.
Yeah.
Your budget eel is just some
Budget
pipe
eel.
cleaners and googly eyes.
That's my idea.
Brilliant.
So heartwarming.
So does anybody have any questions about it?
I am surprised as somebody who turned around and said, "Oh, I don't have any idea. Has anybody got any spare ideas they can give me for a show?" That you
might have
turn
done
around
that.
and like actually have a viable show that's not just a viable and Ed Fringe show, a normal show. So is this a paid show or is this a free show? Are you making
This
your
is
money on the merch or are you making your money
This-
on the tickets?
I'm making my money on the merch, and I feel like if I get the parents away from the paid venues, that's where, where
Yeah.
the good stuff is. So they're not in my way then.
Yeah, true. Anybody else got any questions for Sean?
I don't so much have a suggestion as a potential pitch to you for it. You mentioned meeting of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
Yeah. Yes.
Could it be sea lions, tiger fish,
Yeah.
and bear clams? Oh my!
Water bears?
I haven't looked up if there's a bear of the sea.
They could be polar bears, and we could have a message about global warming at that bit.
Yeah,
where
sea
he's like-
lions, tiger
where he's-
fish, and polar
where he's
bears. Oh
gone,
my!
And he's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I was on this bit of ice, and it drifted, and it melted, and I had to swim here, and now it's too hot." And the kids will be like, "Global warming, no!"
Oh no, we saw that ocean on fire.
Yeah.
Scar them into change, okay? Scar
Imagine
them
that.
into change.
Who saw that
Yeah.
one coming this week? The ocean's on fire.
Terrifying.
And,
What can
and
you
at the
do?
end of it, there's a kind of wise dolphin that saves them all called Greta.
Yeah.
There
And
you go.
I could do an adult version of the show where the eel ends up in the fire, and it's like, ah.
And then gets eaten by somebody
Actually, no.
who's...
Is
not
your
gonna do-
adult version burning puppets?
Yeah. What?
It's the final show
I'd
of
see
the
that.
Fringe.
I can't. You know what? Do you know how hard puppets are to get onto the train? You know what I mean? Just get rid of them at the end of the run.
Do you know how sweaty they are after a month of being used every day?
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
do.
say a
I
lot.
had to Febreze the shit out of the puppets you gave back to me.
I was not the one using them.
But
I
back
wish,
to the
I wish
show
back
in
then
hand,
we was all
not
obsessed on
to
clean hands.
Ugh.
previous OFitD Fringe shows. Back to this one. So, Sean, do you have a venue in mind?
Let's think. No.
One of the free ones.
Because as I know they do usually run some decent kind of kids shows at the start of the day. I could see this doing well at somewhere like the Three Sisters. Sorry, I know. PBH, only true Fringe.
I mean, there are some nice venues. I'd probably put it closer to Princes Street and closer to to Newtown, to be honest. Just because you get more of the sort of soccer moms down there.
Sorry, the what?
The soccer moms.
Joe,
sorry, I'll just translate
obviously-
for the people at home. Football mothers.
Oh,
Soccer mums.
they're called soccer moms.
Yeah, in American TV they are.
And what other TV are we watching?
Also, having soccer mums is going to get very confusing with Sean's socks full of sponge that he's selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, James, would you like to go next, or do you want me to sacrifice myself up to...
Sorry, I did promise bits in between.
Oh, yes.
He's
No,
got a
before we
joke
do-
ready,
Oh,
Joe.
yeah. The joke
So,
first, please.
people are always coming up to me in the street. And the first thing I always say to them before they say anything is, 2 meters back, mask on. No! But after that, they are always asking me, Joe, why are baby eels always flat and transparent? And I say to them, it's because it allows them to hide. It allows them to live and grow up out of the way of the bully fish of the sea. Like the razor clams, you know, those bullying razor clams. Yeah, that's what they do. But yeah, I feel like I relate so much to that because as I was growing up, I was apparently bullied, though I was too oblivious to notice. I had to find out from someone else that I was being bullied. And apparently my response was, okay. So, but this apparently didn't stop them. All the advice is always, if you're being bullied, just ignore it and they'll go away. Apparently they didn't, because I continued to ignore them and they still continued to do it. But you know what? They had their fun. I feel like it was a victimless crime. Not a victimless crime was the time that we had our school loos were burnt down. They were replaced by a portaloo. Someone found a fish in those portaloos. Then those portaloos were burnt down. I feel like there's multiple victims in that crime, but that's a different show, and that has nothing to do with eels.
Okay, so in 2015 we took a show that was heavily audience interactive, and one of the shows was commandeered when I asked a lady what her feelings on social media were, and the show, it has a tight time slot, and I kid you not, I asked her that at the beginning of the show. She stood up, told her life story, and then right at the time when we went to end the show, that's why she said, and that's why I'm never going on Facebook, and sat down and basically commandeered the show. I didn't think I was going to, in another Fringe show, be put in the situation where I was going to try and figure out how to politely interrupt somebody's deep, dark story about life trauma. And I also didn't think it would be Joe. Well, maybe I did think Joe might commandeer a show. But, wow. Apparently it comes around every few years, this feeling. Right.
Can someone just pitch their show before Joe starts talking again?
James, would you like to, or do you want me to?
Okay, no, yeah, I'll go for it.
Hey.
I also use puppets in mine, so sorry about that, Sean. I just
No, it
thought
makes sense.
eels they just look so goofy and long, and they always hide in holes, so it just seems perfect. And then because of the name, the When the Moon Hits Your Eye Like a Big Pizza Pie, that song, it's a Moray. So I figured I'd make an opera about eels. And then I was thinking, well, how long do eels get? So this is an opera about an eel that it can't stop growing. It just keeps growing longer and longer and longer. And I want the puppet to grow as long as possible. Possibly I want the puppet to grow into the street of the venue, but that's probably too long. So it's a show about an eel that keeps growing, and he wants to grow to the moon. But maybe I'm thinking he wants to go to the moon, but then he realizes if he does grow to the moon, he'll leave all his friends behind because they can't survive out of water. So I want like this bittersweet. He really wants to grow to the moon, but has to leave all his friends behind, kind of thing. I want lots of sand everywhere in the venue as well, because it's on the seafloor. So it would either have to be the venue would either have to be on the beach, which I think would be a bit miserable, or it would just have to be in a place that would let me throw a lot of sand on the floor. No more puns are allowed in this show, other than the fact that it's a Moray being that song. No more puns allowed. I was thinking about getting the audience to dress up like other sea creatures and stand around while watching the show. I think that would be a bit humiliating, but maybe that would be part of the experience. Yeah, that's basically all I had. A puppet opera about an eel that won't stop growing, and I want to get the eel puppet as long as possible.
I'm loving it. Is this show for kids or adults?
I don't think it's for kids. I think, yeah. I want it. I don't think I want it to be for kids, but if kids enjoy it, that's fine. It's not going to be like obscene, but.
How does he keep getting bigger? Is there like a
I don't know.
feederism, like undertone, like his partner keeps feeding him so he can't get to
Oh, I want it to be like unexplained. I don't want it to be a fetish if someone keeps feeding the eel.
How did I know that eventually over the fringe run of this podcast, Sean was going to bring up feederism? After that one time he saw a lecture on feederism at Skeptics at the Fringe.
Yeah, well, I still remember that. We were like, I went with Holly. We were like 10 minutes in, and neither of us knew what was going on. And then as soon as the person like straight up like, oh, it's this, we just looked at each other and went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do have my main thought throughout this was, how many puppeteers would it take to make a mile-long eel puppet that you could have along the length of the Royal Mile?
I'd love that. So, James, is it a one-person show, or are there multiple?
I think there would have to be multiple people. There'll be different eel friends and characters, so there'll be different puppeteers and probably multiple to control the long eel.
Yeah.
But yeah, my thinking was kind of, I haven't worked out fully how the puppet could work, but I was thinking of, that point in a game of Snake where your snake's got so big that it's starting to kind of start to eat itself. I'd like that to sort of be the end of the show, where the puppet is basically so big that all the audience members are holding it as well.
Oh, I like that. I really, really enjoy this image of you wandering down a hustly bustly street in Edinburgh, and just out the door of a venue is this white and black spotted tail.
Be terrifying.
And how terrifying, but also how much of an amazing marketing campaign.
Could you build it if, let's say, it's round and it's telescopic, so that's how it gets bigger, and then it's got Velcro on either end, so that's how it goes in like that, and then it attaches and it gets bigger, and then the next scene you add the other bit and then it gets bigger again.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I know nothing about puppets, so this is very much. I'll think of this idea, and then the logistics will figure themselves out. The other one is, I guess, if it was an inflatable puppet, but that would be a bit weird. But then you can crumple it up a lot and then just inflate it, and it will get longer. But
yeah,
I don't know how you'd even control that.
I mean, you've kind of taken the same approach I do with most of our shows, which is, this is a great idea. I have no idea how we're going to do it. Sean, figure it out.
Someone figure it out for me.
I really like that. There's something that feels like it could make you laugh, but also make you cry. And then there's this giant puppet that you've got, and loads of sound that you've got to figure out how to get out of a venue with.
Yeah, I wrote down in my bullet points that I want it to grow. I want it to be quite funny because it's quite an odd, funny idea, but I want it to get upsettingly long, is the note that I wrote. So
I love
that's
that.
what I'm aiming for.
Got the audience members at the back like, haha, them fools sitting at the front. And as the show gets on, they're like, okay, it's getting a bit close now. I don't want to be involved in this. So I sat at the back.
Please help.
Why are we surrounded by eel?
And then you don't let them out until they put some money in the bucket. The eel like holds them in, like on a roller coaster.
Exactly.
I love it. I think that's incredibly fringe. And I really, really want to see that. I really want to see a show that has an active part of it be outside of its venue and continuing to grow. I like it.
It would probably would have to. Would you have to like get permission from Edinburgh itself?
Depending how long it is. If you're going to go and put it on a train somewhere and
All
grow
of
it whilst
Scotland.
it's on the tram.
I have this sort of mindset when it comes to stuff like that you ask for forgiveness rather than permission.
Ah.
Yeah. We don't endorse that formally, but it is certainly a way to get things done.
All we're saying is, do you really think every Edinburgh Fringe show has got approval for putting posters there?
True.
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 No, I can't say that on the podcast actually, because Coventry. I was just meant
Were
to
you
say
about to
something, but
implicate yourself in a
then,
crime?
Yeah, then I thought Coventry Council might get me. Doesn't matter.
So, Joe, have you got another joke for us?
Oh, yeah, sure. Don't worry, this is a
what do you mean,
one-liner.
Another joke? Have you got a joke for us yet?
Have you got a joke for us? Joe,
yeah.
I'm going to put you on a time limit.
So, the smallest of the Moray Eels is Snyder's Moray, which is only 11.5 centimetres long on average. The largest Moray, however, is the Snyder's Cut, which is about 4 hours and features an inexplicable cameo by Jared Leto.
It's good. I liked it.
Very
I
good.
like that joke. Well done. Well done.
Hey Joe, if you read the comics, it makes sense.
Okay, so now for me to pitch my show, which well done to both James and Sean for finding narratives, and Joe as well for stand-up
Turning
with
up.
the Eels.
Yeah.
So I was so excited by this article because I couldn't stop staring at the photo of the eels. I thought they were magical. I was stone cold sober, but they reminded me of Lady Gaga, and then I thought, okay, I don't actually know what to do with this show. But then I thought, you know what? It's the Edinburgh Fringe. Anything can and will happen. And I remembered, I don't know if any of you guys ever saw this show. It's a show called Legs. And I think it was either 2019 or 2018. It was huge. It was on all the cabarets. It was absolutely everywhere. But it was called Legs. And I remember seeing it at a cabaret, the Magic Faraway Cabaret, I think it must have been. And all it is a girl walking on stage with her legs, and then occasionally saying legs, and then continuing to move her legs, and then saying legs, and this goes on. And oddly, as much as I was very, very confused and honestly didn't get it, the audience loved it. And this, for me, is inherently what Ed Fringe is about giving people the opportunity to have that kind of weird stuff. And yeah, so the reason the Eels reminded me of Lady Gaga is because of fashion. And I really, really, really want, and I still want, a pair of tights and or leggings that look like spotted eels. I want them to look like these eels, right? And then I got obsessed with that. And so my show it's outdoors, it's for free. It is somebody wearing these wonderful spotted eel leggings, right? I have lots of other pairs of leggings for anybody who wants to take part. And as much as Joe started to steal my idea, it is a conga line, as long as we can possibly make it, of people wearing spotted eel leggings that make it look like there's just a load of eels walking down the street, and it's a conga line that goes down the Royal Mile and goes around Edinburgh. And don't look at me like that. We've got the walking dance tour. I'm going to say I want Caribbean and Brazilian music, because there are different kinds of eels, and I'm going to steal that from Joe's article. And if we can get the conga line to be led by, or at least interact with, John Richardson, the comedian, I will take that. But mainly I just want to be in these fantastic, wonderful leggings, handing out other leggings to the participants who come, and we just do a conga line around Edinburgh, and then you give the tights back and away you go. There you go. You've had a nice little community feeling and a community experience.
So, would I be correct in saying your show is more, you want these leggings to exist, but more than that, you want them to be tax deductible?
I didn't think about it that way, but now you say that, it's going to happen.
I would do Jem's show. I would definitely get a little bit tipsy, put them tights on, and then just go around Edinburgh going, yeah, eel.
Exactly. You
Eel.
shout eels.
Yeah, why not?
Eels.
Come on, Joe. You'd be reluctant at first, but you'd jump on board. You would.
I was on board until you mentioned that silent disco walking tour. I hate them.
I know, but they're wonderful,
But-
and they do their own marketing, because essentially going around everybody putting that on Instagram, it's super easy.
Yeah.
But it's also the drama student or the psychology student who will see it as the opportunity for people to explore their own dress sense and body, because people who otherwise wouldn't wear leggings might feel encouraged to try on leggings finally have that chance to explore their body in leggings, which, if you have the right material for the leggings, feels amazing. Yeah. So, we can put that spin on it, but ultimately, from me as the creator, leggings, conga line, done.
But, you know what? I also respect it that, Jem, a side note of this is, I assume, you want these to exist, and you're also fully aware you can't fund a single version of them, so you're buying them in bulk, but finding a use for the others.
I'm buying them in bulk to get that 10% discount. Yay!
It's great. It's all about empowerment, Joe. In the 90s, we had like Spice Girls and girl power. Now, times have changed.
In the 20s, we've
Now
got Jem
eel
and her
power.
eel leggings.
Yeah, nothing says empowerment. Nothing says identity like eels.
Exactly. Spotted eels.
Also, Jem, we could actually make them on Redbubble. It would
Yeah,
actually be quite easy to do. Just saying.
It's just the decision as to whether, do you include a face and do you put it at the ankle or on the butt?
Hey,
Yeah,
if you've
go
got an
butt.
opinion on do you put the face on the ankle or the butt, put it in the comments below.
I'm just saying, Jem, you'll find out at Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
And also, please, go to the OFitD Twitter page and answer the poll. Ankle or butt?
Yeah. Where is the logical place to put an eel face?
Also, would it just be one eel going over both legs, or would it be two
come on,
eels?
It's 2 eels. Don't be stupid.
I mean, it's the pattern, to be honest. It's just the pattern. But, we'll have to wash them every day.
Yeah.
But that, I think, is mainly something COVID has instilled in me.
Yeah. I do feel I'm taking up
Gemma,
too much airtime on
you
this
should be
question
doing that
segment.
every day during the show anyway.
No, but we know that at the Ed Fringe, you wash your own ones, but do you wash the 20 other pairs that strangers have worn? Now we do, because now all of us are...
So basically what you're saying is this is a show that you really want to come to the first performance of, or not.
Yeah,
Because you know you're getting used leggings.
But you
Once
know,
it gets to like the 20th performance, those leggings don't even fold.
Oh God.
so I mean, this is how we drive a sellout show at the beginning of the Fringe. So then you can say for the rest of the show that you're a sellout show.
That must be nice.
Puts on the poster 3 stars. Don't come to night 2.
I do enjoy how I am the more sort of rigid theatre maker, proper person, and I've just gone full artsy. Let's make eel leggings this time.
You
Yes,
say
Jemma,
you're the more rigid, artsy theatre maker. Hey, James. Opinion. Is this theatre strapping a GoPro to a dog
In Malta.
in Malta?
Oh yeah. I think it depends on the dog.
Oh, what kind
Depends
of
on
dog?
the dog's behaviour.
Well, no, because like you say that, I have also got another Ed Fringe show where I am strapping a GoPro to a dog, and it's under the theatre banner, and the theatre programmer said yes, that's theatre. So go see my other show, guys, as well. Hi.
So do people sit in a room watching a screen, or do you just put the GoPro on the dog and let it loose?
It's live streamed, and it's a 360 camera. I can't guarantee. Definitely a GoPro trying a 360 camera, but it is a small elderly Jack Russell who can't walk nor run, but can only waddle, and I'm going to let him loose in a field.
Not in like the streets.
No, I'm responsible.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't realise the dog was elderly, Jem. Are you sure that the dog is comfortable with and can support the harness?
Yes. I am not the one who offered the dog out. I did not go and stalk this dog down and force its hand into accepting this. I mentioned it to the dog's owner, not knowing that that owner had the dog, and that owner offered the dog up. And they know exactly who they are.
Right.
Well,
I
this is
forgot
the
how
Ed
we
Fringe.
end these ones.
We end it by saying, James, yes, you're an actor and it is the time of COVID, but have you got anything that you want to promote or anything you want to talk about? Or just say how great you are?
Nothing yet. No, but hopefully one of these days. I'm trying to record an audiobook from home, but that's a long way off.
That's so exciting though.
Where can we follow you for
Yeah.
when you are back?
Oh.
We can catch your stuff.
You can follow me on Twitter /fabulous_JamesK.
Brilliant. I like it. And we're definitely gonna listen to the audiobook and anything that you do because we absolutely adore
Oh,
you.
Oh,
stop.
Is it about eels?
I wish. It's
That's
It's,
part 2.
I'll change it. I'll slip an eel in.
Slip an eel in.
Hey, that's
Which I haven't said
No.
that.
oh no,
Don't
that's
do
made
that.
everybody uncomfortable.
Especially if it's a spotted eel. Don't do that.
Oh. And because I was so proud of us for not making any of these jokes before the end of the podcast, I think that's the way that we are definitely coming to an end. So thank you, everybody. Joe, where can we find you and what else are you doing?
You can also find me at NotJoeRonchka. That's NotJoeRaczka. And just find me there on Twitter. It's not worth following me on Instagram, though, as I have promised before, please, let's try and get me to 250 followers. If I get there, I will do another Instagram post and set up a TikTok.
Ooh!
Ooh.
I'm still setting this. This is my benchmark.
There are stakes. There are stakes.
No, you don't want him to set up a TikTok because it will just be, you know, his rant from earlier about it's meant to be eels, but it was about him getting bullied. Right, that's what his TikTok will be.
It's true. TikTok's not all about that, Joe.
Very
it's all
enjoyable.
about joy. Which
Are you looking at the same TikTok as me?
I thought TikTok was just dancing.
I thought TikTok was just teenagers culturally appropriating.
No, it's so much joy and it's so much creativity, and I spend way too much of my life on it. I love TikTok. Sean, where can we find you?
In Birmingham.
Oh,
I've given it away. No, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at StillSeanyB. What am I up to? Nothing really. Yeah. I've got 7 weeks off work and I have literally no idea what to do. So I will probably be watching stuff. So yeah.
I think I need to give you more things to do for
you don't.
my show.
No. If you're watching this, by the time this comes out, Sean might still have a few weeks of that time off left. So
suggest me
commission him to do your lighting for your home setup.
Or
give me suggestions.
Or depending on how insane Sean is by the end of the Fringe, where he's not in the Fringe, he's just sat trying to figure out what to do with 7 weeks holiday, I might strap a GoPro to Sean.
No, you ain't strapping nothing to me, Jemma. Okay. I want suggestions like go to the zoo, go to, I don't know, the Black Country Museum for a day out. I want them suggestions. I don't want put a GoPro on you and then we can see what your bedroom looks like.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Yeah, but see, by threatening you by threatening you with a GoPro, you've now come up with the suggestions yourself. I think you really want to go to the zoo, Sean.
Who doesn't? There might be some eels.
Hey!
Jemma, where can people follow you on Instagram and Twitter and stuff?
You can follow me on Twitter at Jem Ralston, or you can follow me on Instagram at OFITD_Jem with a J. You can also see my other show, the Happiness Anonymous Share Show, and you can follow that on Instagram at Happiness Anonymous Show. And if you want to see, hear, or enjoy more of the things that we do here at the Theatre Pitch podcast, as well as see the other things like the Happiness Anonymous Show that are produced by this company, you can follow OFitD Productions at OFITD. Used to mean something, but we do not say what that is anymore. It's the big mystery of the company.
1 foot in the door.
Oh, brilliant.
What?
Did we not? Did we lose that?
Yeah, we lost that.
Joe?
I didn't realise we were like KFC now, where our name no longer meant anything.
I didn't realise it was Voldemort.
We're OFitD. We're OFitD.
Okay.
We always have been, frankly. Nobody ever used the big name.
And
that's
we're
why I just
ending
dropped
the
it.
podcast.
Yay! Thank you, everybody. This podcast has actually been part of the PBH Free Fringe. This is how we end the podcast. So do check out all of the other free shows. The PBH Free Fringe is an amazing organisation that take away all of the fees for participants, so you don't have to be rich or privileged or anything like that to go to the Fringe. It also takes away all ticket prices, so you don't have to be rich or privileged or anything like that to see things at the Fringe. So it's free to play as well and free to view at the PBH Free Fringe. And this year they are doing some amazing work with the virtual free Fringe, but lots of E sounding words, so the Eels come in very, very well. But do go check them out. They've got some amazing shows. Happiness Anonymous Show is on that as well as this podcast. But go check them out. They're awesome. They're fun. They have some amazing stuff. And thank you guys. I've really enjoyed this episode. I feel like this is the most Fringe episode we've had.
Certainly the most free Fringe episode we've had.
Yeah. I feel like the last episode was just like catching up with Libby.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what we did on the last one, but it weren't talking about theatre.
Well, go on. You go on. You go on.
I'm sorry, Jem. You're the pro. You're hosting.
No, don't make me be British about it. What were you gonna say, Sean?
Nothing.
What were you gonna?
I was just gonna say thank you, James, for doing this podcast. It was.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's cool. It's cool, especially people from Aberystwyth. It's really cool catching up, seeing what they're doing. People who are still in the industry. It's really great.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's
been
so
lovely.
interesting that so many of us have been to the Fringe, and it's like, oh, maybe that course did set us up for stuff.
Maybe it did.
Maybe it did. Yeah. But thank you. Sean stole the words out of my mouth. Thank you so much, James, for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we would love to have you back.
I'd love to be back.
Brilliant. And thank you, everybody, for listening or watching or whatever it is. And we will see you in the next episode.